In this video, I'll be doing LeetCode Biweekly Contest 19, and after I solve all of the problems, I'll be explaining my solutions. And I'm actually 3-4 minutes late this time, so hopefully I'm fast enough. I think I need prefix sums for this. Because the constraints are large. Just go through each subarray of length k. Six. Oh wait, okay. 14, 8, 123. It's pending. Okay, I should find the angle of the minute hand first. So angle of the minute hand will just be 6 times minute. Yeah, 6 minutes and minutes and hour hand is hour times 30 plus. Wait, hour can be 12, okay, so also we add the minutes. So actually I need it double for this. I divide by, so each hour is 30, and then so that means each is 0.5. So I divide by 2, and I just return the difference. Something like this. 12:30, 3:30. $3.15, $4.50, 12.0, 6.4.12. Okay, this should be good. Still pending, okay. Accepted. Okay, so this is a graph problem, and I don't know if n squared will pass. Actually, I don't need n squared. I'll store the occurrences of each value. I'll just run BFS on this. And for the same occurrences, just go through all the elements. Okay. So three. Okay, I don't think I need to test this. This is simple enough. And 65, 75, 7.5, 155, and 0. Okay, this seems to be good. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. This looks good as well. Accepted, accepted, and accepted. Okay, I started late though, so I started 3 minutes late, so I could have won this if I could have won this if I wasn't, if I didn't start late. And am I actually second? I know I'm not second right now, but I'll have to see. So anyways, for the solutions, Okay, so for this problem, you basically just do what it says. So turn the number of steps to reduce it to 0. So you have a while loop, and while number is not 0, you check if the number is odd. So this means that the number is odd. And if it's odd, then you subtract 1 from it, which is this statement. And otherwise, it's even. So you divide number by 2. Then you add 1 to the answer because you just performed 1 step. So then you return the answer. And yeah, this works. The constraints are low enough. And this works in like log base 2 of number. So there's pretty much no problem to this. Okay, so for this problem, the constraints are pretty big. So if n is the size of the array, then an n squared algorithm won't work. So what we can do is we can first calculate the prefix sums of the elements in our given array. So the prefix sum of like nothing is 0, and then we just take the last prefix sum and we add a new element to calculate the new prefix sum. And then a vector here, PS, will store the sums, the ith element in the vector PS will store the sum of the first I elements of our array A. So now once we calculate this prefix sum array, we need to find the answer. So we basically just check every subarray of size k and make sure that the average is greater than or equal to the threshold. So in this for loop, I represents the right boundary of the subarray. So in order to find the sum of the subarray, I take the prefix sum of the first I elements minus the prefix sum of the first I minus k elements. That'll give me the sum of the k elements, which end at index I. And then I have the sum. So how do I make sure the average is greater than or equal to threshold? Well, basically, basically the average will be the sum divided by k. And I want to check that it's greater than threshold, but I just multiply both sides by k. And so I got this equation. And if this equation is true, then answer will increase by 1. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this problem. Okay, so for this problem, first you need to find the angle of both hands of the clock. So for the minute hand, it's pretty straightforward. So you know that there's 60 minutes and there's 360 degrees. So each minute corresponds to 6 degrees. And that's how we calculate the angle for the minutes. We just multiply by 6. And then for the hour, so to make our code, so to simplify things for our program, we'll just, if the hour is 12, then we'll just change it to 0. And then for each hour, there are a total of 12 hours and 360 degrees. And we divide 360 by 12 to get 30. So each hour has 30 degrees. So our angle for the hour hand starts at hour times 30. But then we also have to add the minute hand for the angle. So since each hour is 30 degrees and there's 60 minutes in an hour, that means each minute is half a degree. So we also add the minutes divided by 2. And then we basically find the minutes angle and the angle of the minutes hand and the angle of the hour hand. And after we find these, we basically just, there are two possibilities. Either the smaller angle is on this side, or the smaller angle is on this side. So if the small angle is on this side, then the answer will be the absolute value of the minutes angle minus the hours angle. But then if that's, wait, so I think I should rephrase this. Okay, so if we have our minutes hand over here and an hour hand over here, then the absolute value of the absolute difference of these two angles will be this, and it will basically, and that will basically be our answer as the other angle is greater. But if it looks something, if the hands form something like this, then our absolute difference over here will calculate this angle. So in this case, in order to calculate the other angle, we just subtract the original angle from 360 to get the other angle. So this is what my code does here. I just take the minimum of these two to find the smaller angle. And jump game. So first you can notice that you can create a graph from this array. So each node will represent an index. Then from node I, you have an edge which connects to I plus 1. You also have an edge which connects to I minus 1. And then you have, and then you also have edges which connect to other nodes with the same value. And then if you look at the constraints, you'll find that an n squared algorithm where n is the size of the array will be too slow, because if you consider the case where all arrays are of the same value, there are actually n squared edges in the graph. So we don't want to create all of the edges in the graph explicitly. So what we do is we'll use a breadth first search on the graph, and then the first time we encounter a node with the value of x, we'll create the edges from that node to all other nodes with value of x. But then each other time we encounter a node with value of x, we'll basically just not create any more edges. So what I mean by this is, let's say this is the starting index and our array looks something like this. And so to start with, we'll create these edges because we can go to any nodes with the same value. Well then, so let's say our breadth first search goes to here, and then we want to find the edges which start at this node. But from this index, we should only consider the edges which go to left and right, and we should not create additional edges like this. If we create additional edges, it'll be too slow, and the additional edges are useless because this one has already been visited before, and that's been visited with a distance which is smaller than the node we're currently visiting. So in the code, I keep all the occurrences of some value in a map. And then this is some basic breadth first search setup. So I set the distance of node 0 to 0, and then I push node 0 into a queue. And then each time I visit a node U during the BFS, I remove it from the queue, and then I basically find the other occurrences in the array with the same value. And then I basically check those and update the distance and add those nodes to the queue if necessary. And then I clear the occurrences for this value so that when we encounter the value in the future, we don't add the edges again. And then after that, I take care of the edges which go one node to the left and one node to the right. And I just return the distance. And that's pretty much it. Okay. So this actually didn't turn out to be too bad. Yeah, this is basically it. So I'll be continuing to do more LeetCode contests and giving more explanations. And if this is helpful to you, then you can like and subscribe. And yeah, it's free, so just do it.